So that's why if you take a millionaire and take their own money, they will become millionaire again because they have the ability already built up again. And if you ask all the millionaires, they will say the same thing. Yeah, if you take it on, I can make it. I'll make it for you. So what is the topic you want to talk about?
Okay, so a lot of people, including myself, call them SOULpreneur or spiritual entrepreneurs, and they invest deeply in mindset and energy, but still struggle financially. So why do you think that is the case?
So first of all, I just make one disclosure. I'm not a big fan of Chinese, but there's a one thing which I have learned from Chinese people is this one. Too much of anything is not good. And that is absolutely right. So when people really focusing about only with energy and mindset, that's how they start to get into the place of doing too much of one thing. And that's how they lose the very other important aspect. So look, human, everything I've created so far is exactly who they are actually, or what they have, God was created in their mind. That's how I believe. So typically think about a laptop. It's basically one representation of human being. And now we're adding intelligence, which is artificial intelligence we're talking about, to make it better. So the same, I want to think is, you have a laptop. So now to make really make a lot of successful story means you want to have a lot of revenue created through your laptop. So now to make the laptop really function really well, first you need hardware. This typically comes with your, think about your laptop body is the hardware and all the machine inside of it. Same with you, it's your body. Your body has to be functioning well to do it well. So now to make a laptop run, you need energy. So now you have to add the power into it. So the same, you need the spiritual energy too. So now the next thing is about, now you have to think about, you need to have an operating system over there. So like whatever laptop you're using, Windows, you have a Windows operating system, you're using Mac, you have the Mac OS. So now as a human being, you also gotta have that operating system, which is your mindset. But now when you're only focusing about this thing, like an example, you're just putting a lot of power, that means in a laptop, and you're upgrading your operating system all the time, it's not going to make you a lot of successful story out of that laptop. Because you're missing a lot of other things. Because think about, imagine your laptop, you have more things. The next very important thing you have in your laptop is basically you have your skills, means your apps. The apps. Think about your laptop you have and you don't have any Microsoft Word. You have, or Microsoft Office. You cannot do anything with that thing. You have to go to, let's say, a Google Drive, but still you have to use Google Docs. The same kind of thing of online version of it. So now you need to install all different sort of skill sets based on what you really need. You don't need all the apps. You need the apps which will take you from now to the next milestone where you want to go. So this is the big trap a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs get into the thing of soulpreneurs. They're really focusing about energy, supplying in a crazy amount of energy in the laptop. And they're even doing lots of physical activity. But they don't install the apps. And when they don't have the apps, the execution is always very poor. And now, as execution is poor, doesn't ring the bells. Execution is king. So if you don't have the king, you are not winning in the game of chess.
Yes. So, do you ever call yourself a spiritual person?
Look, I think that every human should become and believe in the God. Atheist is not aligned with my core values. I'm going to get into a point. But I think that the people who are atheists, they're missing a big leverage in their own life. It's about their ability to ask for help, ability to get, there is somebody who can look after me. And they're missing that big advantage into it. So now what they say is one, I'm an atheist. Let's say example, somebody said, but they're still doing meditations. So they're still trying to use that in another form of the things. Or they're trying to do yoga. They're trying to do another form of things. They're trying to tap into the things too. So for me, I definitely believe in God and I will always do that. And the second thing is about, I also know just believing in God is not going to get me what I want to go. Believing in God is my actually backup plan. I mean, that's something thinking about, oh, am I an artist? Let me explain to you in a minute. Whenever I want to do something and achieve something, first I will take the whole ownership into that thing. I will build my own strategy. I will get the right skill set. I will talk to the right people. I will put up the right teams together and give my all best to push forward. And every time I felt like things is getting harder for me, that's the time I'm going to go to my spiritual side of it. I'm trying to tap into what is I can get on help. I can meditate. Actually, like every religion in the world, I mean, basically there are 4 big religions in the world. It's Muslim, Buddhism, Christians, and probably a bit of Hinduism as well. So they're very small still. But Islam and Christian is basically almost all over the world. What are these 2 religions talking about? Always talking about prayer. Prayer is a form of meditation. Like all this religion has multiple time of prayer in there in the day. So this is how it's already encouraging human beings to tap into that universal power. And for me, the God definition is very simple. This whole solar system is running in a system. It never disrupts. Think about the sun. It's always in the east and goes down in the west. What does it mean? There is a system has been installed in all over this world. And there is a system means there is a creator. And that's how. So why I'm going to lose that ability to connect to the power and ask for help. And here's the best part. Asking for help from the God, it doesn't cost any money. It just needs your acceptance in your mind. Well, there is some people like to sacrifice a lot of things. But for me, I think God doesn't need anything from us. And I think the biggest sacrifice you can do is about helping other people.
Yeah. It's an interesting answer. So you have helped hundreds of helpless founders build their real income. So what is the number 1 shift they need to make first? Is it the belief, business model, or the behavior?
You tap into the thing, all of them important. But what I'm going to tell you right now that probably pisses off a lot of people, but let me say it anyway. It's all the most important thing of a job and entrepreneur is not to learn selling. A lot of people will say this one, you have to learn how to sell to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people will say this one, to become an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to do marketing. You have to understand social media platform. A lot of people talk about to be a great entrepreneur, you need to be a great speaker. No, none of them. The number 1 thing an entrepreneur really needs to do is to build an incredible product. Now, why do I use the word means incredible product? An incredible product means the product which can sell itself. If you have to push it every time, you have a poor product. I mean, it may still bring you lots of millions of dollars, but still, it's not the ultimate version of your product. And now, when I'm talking about the product, that's not actually the main thing I'm talking about making the shift. It's about building the business model around it. Because if you have the business model around it, right business model, and you put the right product into the heart of the business model, you will win every time. But here's the point. People just telling, just get started. It works for the people who cannot get started. For them, it's fine, right? The people who cannot get started, for them, that line works. But there is another group of people who get started every day. So for them, this is a very bad advice because the who are taking on the thing, they're getting started and they're just getting started without a business model. They're going through a nightmare period of time or jumping out of the jobs or spending way too much time in morning meditations and morning routines before actually doing the work. So this is what I'm going to tell you is about build an incredible business model and think it as a top priority of you and put the most amount of your time and effort designing and building that thing. And then everything will follow through.
Okay. Actually, for us who call themselves as a SOULpreneur or spiritual entrepreneurs, we heard a lot about energy creates money, or money is just a form of energy. But without execution, isn't that just another bypass?
It's a waste of time. I mean, when you're thinking is that money is just basically a form of energy, you're trying to label it in a wrong way. And I'll tell you why. Money, for me, the way I see money is a form of appreciations. And for me, whatever I'm doing is not about the money. The reason I'm here doing this sharing with you is not because of the money. As soon people make it about the money, I will tell you first what is the problem with that thing. When people is making all about the money, they're thinking about going to the social media platform and writing content every day and sharing them into a lot of people, going to be transfer the energy to a lot of people and it will bring them money. I have bad news for you. If you do that thing for years, the money will ghost you. You will be chasing a ghost and the money will be ghosting you. I'll tell you one thing. I've been sharing a social media platform almost 10 to 15 years period of time. And I did it without any zero expectation on making money. It did not really create any money for me because I shared it anyway without making expectation. The first time I made money from sharing is about when I created an online course. A paid online course. People bought it. It brings the money. So what it's bring to me is about, I think people are pretty much lost in this money game trap with energy. People think that I'm going to share the energy, the money will get back to me. This is a very bad idea. And I'll tell you even more right now. I just say to you that one, it's not about the money. So what is it about?
What is it about?
It's about thinking about a vision, thinking about a mission, a vision, putting it as a path of your journey where every day you'll be thinking about you are making one step forward to the goals. And to do this one, you have an incredible opportunity to improve yourself personally, professionally, building my own peoples, contributing my team members, creating incredible impact to the customers I've been working on, may change their life and turn all this impossible into I'm possible. And that's what it is. Gives me what? It gives me a thrill of every morning. When I wake up from the bed, every morning I've got feeling that, oh my God, I have an incredible thing. And I'll tell you, my best part of my day is this. When I wake up in the morning, I get my morning started, and then I have my breakfast and I enjoy my coffee. That's my best because that's how it started my day. And you know the worst part of my day is the day when I actually go into bed because I know I just spent one my day of my life already. So that means I'm gonna leave one day less. That means I have just lost one more day. So am I making the best out of it or not? And that gave me the inspiration that on tomorrow I'm starting another day with a lot of inspiration. So I will have the opportunity to do. So the thing is about when you think that way, when you have such a clear vision and when you're making progress, there could be millions of reasons to keep you in the bed. There could be millions of excuses to keep you stay on the bed, but it will not. And I don't. There's no reason to hold me back. Like, I will just tell you that one. Like, I was pretty much knocked down last weekend because of my food poisoning issues. And I was also still thinking about on the same day, how do I still do something for my team? It's not because of the money, because I want to do this thing. I want to enjoy that thrill. And as soon as I felt a little better, in the very next day, I'm back to my routine. Even I'm like only 50% okay, physically. So that's the thing, is about energy is very important, but the energy will not bring you the money directly. So what actually brings you the money? That's the thing. It's not about the money. It's about your journey and making impact. So someone needs to find out what is it about for them. If it's about the money, they're selling them some really shorts. Because the money is not the energy. Money is actually the form of appreciation of the impacts you're making on the people's life. When you're making impacts, you're solving your customer problems, they're saying thank you. And if they only stop with thank you, means you haven't created enough values. If they say thank you and give you money, means you actually start to make real impacts into their life. So now, a lot of content creators, they will write something and send it to a social media platform. They will be receiving comments, they will be receiving interactions. But it's not enough for their customers to actually change their life, solve their problems, or removing their pain points, or making more money for them. And that's why just sharing through words and energy is not enough for them to make revenue.
So you mean that they're misunderstanding the word value? That they think that just sharing is already giving the values, but it's not the truth, right? It's not the truth.
Yes and no. I'm going to break it down for you. I want you to imagine a scale, 0 to 10. 0 means the value is 0, and the 10 is incredible value. If your value normally more than 5 means they are already feeling like, okay, I'm going to tell other people this helped me. So normally, when your value is at level of 5 or 6, people start doing that one. And when the value moves to 7 and more, people start to willing to pay for it because it's actually giving so much relief from the pain or helping them make more money or making the same amount of time. But here's the point, when you're just only sharing contents and speaking out, you cannot make that much value. Maybe maximum you could do 4, 5, and that's why it's not bringing you money. So a lot of entrepreneurs who are really spiritual and really focusing about sharing and energy sharing and thinking about this will bring money to them. This is why they don't bring money for them, because it's impossible. And here's the thing, let's be honest. Most of the sharing actually end up at 2 and 3 values, rarely hit 4s. And that's why it doesn't really bring them, and that's why they're feeling unhappy and grinding forever, but it's not making them financially where they want to go.
So just energy is not enough to bring the money. So in short, how money works, or money is a reflection of what?
Money is a reflection of 2 things. How much impacts you make on their life. I mean, typically these are the way you're making the impact. 1, you are removing their pains they're facing right now, the level and scale of the pain. The higher the pain, the more they earn. The second value is about your impact is actually make them more money. So like an example, your impact helped them to make another billion Vietnam dong. They're willing to pay you 10% without any benefits. Any worry about it. And number 3 is about you turn them to another person. Like you take them to a transformational journey, because if you could transform someone from one person to another person, they become their own assets. So that's why if you take a millionaire and take their own money, they will become millionaire again. Because they have the ability already built up again. And if you ask all the millionaires, they will say the same thing. Yeah, if you take it on, I can make it. I'll make it for you. It's going to be a process. It's going to be not fun. But maybe not everybody will say it's going to be fun. But everybody almost say they can do it again. It happens the same with billionaires as well too. So you take them a transformation journey, and when they're transformed to become that other person, they become their own assets. And that's the time they see, okay, now they will level you back to an appreciations. So appreciation, we say often thank you, or it could be a hug, or it could be a dinner invitations and money as well too. And you actually make all those things to me. You remove my pain points, you take me real transformations, and you remove my pain points and help me to make more money. So I'm gonna pay you for this thing. Because I want more from you. I want you to continue doing this one. Because now you remove these pains, but now I move to the next level. And the next level, I have another pains. And I want to solve that thing. I made $1 billion Vietnam dong, and I want to make it again. So I want to keep working on it. Or maybe I want to make it $2 billion right now. I want to keep working with it. So now I transform to this person. Now I can think about, I can be a $500 million already. And then I want to be a millionaire. I want to be multi-millionaire. So I want to take you to transformation journey to level up myself to much more better version of myself, which will keep ability and improving my ability and my systems to generate that kind of success financially.
You said that money is a reflection of 2 things.
Yes.
You just mentioned 1.
So 1, it's about
The impact.
impacts.
Yes.
The second one is appreciation.
Appreciation.
The level of appreciation you receive from your customers. And also from your teams as well too.
All the people around you.
Exactly.
Could be anyone.
Because end of the day, if you're a true entrepreneur, you have to see your team as one of your partners and your customers as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting that just sharing on social media or sharing to other people could not make people rich, right? If yes, you are already become billionaires.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot of people get confused about it. Like an example, if you talk about Shed Godin, he became one of the author of the Pink Purple Book Cow. He wrote a lot of books. Purple Cow, you talk about this is marketing, I will teach you marketing. He's one of the massive content writer and one of the OGs about marketer. Or even you talk about Gary Vaynerchuk. You talk about social media content creations too as well. You talk about a lot, making a lot of video. Well, these people did it for so long period of time, or because they had other advantage. Gary Vaynerchuk was running the wine business of their parents, and creating content was more like a fun thing for him. Over time, he built a really good audience and building a speaking ability at different conferences, and he turned a backdoor access to one of his audience to give him an opportunity to become a media agency, social media content creation for that agency. And that creating is a Venue Media created. So now the problem is about this is already been done back to the time. But now the social media has a lot more content compared to any time before. So if you try to use the same blueprint of them, first of all, they had already needed 10 years. When there was so less content in social media. Think about Facebook, how old is it, 15 years old? So they were so early. So their content was so much better leveraged. But now your content is not going to get that leveraged. You probably with 20, 30 years, and you probably don't even have other advantages like Gary Vaynerchuk, who had father who already had a business making money. If you follow their blueprint that way, you're just waiting for a painful journey without getting any financial freedom, and it's always stay in front of you like you are chasing something which is never going to happen to you.
Really opened my eyes after your answers. I'm really curious. What's your framework for turning energy into execution?
It's going to be very different. I know a lot of people will say differently, but this is what I'm going to tell you, which I use for my personal life and it worked for me. And so I'm going to tell you the same models. So you got to start with your why first. Very first movements, you think about finding your why first. Why do you want to do this thing? And if you have a poor why, don't get started. Find a better why.
There's a book for that, right?
Start why. Exactly. So if you're not really sure about it, I would recommend you can try a book, Simon Sinek, of Start with Why. Read the book. Very small book. Give you the concept clear. The book doesn't have the tools to how to find your why, but it will give you the concept clear. Probably a couple of videos about Start with Why will get you clear already. You probably even don't need to read the first thing. Why first, and then go straight to who.
Who? Not how.
No, not at all. You don't go for how. You find your who. So here's most of the people will tell you this one, that who means you start to find employees or find your customers. No, the very first thing you start to find your second brain. So somebody who could be your first person to fall in, and somebody you can first person to team up together to create something better. And get your why aligned with that person. And then both of you can find different who around it. Who's your customer? Who's your partner? Who's your supplier? Who's your supporter? Who's your fan? Who's your friend? Who's your well-wisher? Find all of the who's. And then as soon as you find your who's, now you start to think about what is the thing you're going to do. What does the solution look like? And what's the product? What's the price? What's the services? What is the channel I'm talking about? And then you go to how, finally. And the whole thing, people do it wrong. People get started with how first because they think that, oh, I know how to do this one. Now let's try to make a business around it. That should be very end part. Because this is why all the SOULpreneurs and freelancers are in a really stuck level positions because they are always starting with how. oh, I know how to do this thing. Now probably I can sell other people to do. I think this is okay. When you're doing in a weekend thing, when you're doing something for fun, and we're doing it for a few months, but you want to try to make a living seriously on that thing, you have to turn the whole dice around what I just told you. Your house should be at the end, because when you're starting from how alone at the first step, you're doing a massive disadvantage for yourself, because you're just trying to find out how alone. But if you already found your who already, think about how many people are going to help you to find your house. Think about how many people are going to help you to find your what. All incredible advantage already in your favor. And you're going to win. And everybody will think about you just simply a bastard who just got lucky again and again. And that's how it is the world it looks like. And everybody, people call you lucky, but you're not lucky. You just play the game right.
The spiritual entrepreneur need to build practically to create sustainable income. More specifically, what are the first 3 systems or assets they need to set up?
The very first thing they need to do is about completely change the day routine. They are how they're spending their time and the day from the morning until they go to bed. Because now their first thing they have already done in your day is they have designed to be completely busy. You ask them around, they will always tell you one thing. They're really, really busy. They're always busy. The day is filled. And it is. Let me tell you a lot. Think about the time you went to the universities. I'm not sure you are one of them, but you have seen these people like that. They never study about the exams. And before the exam, they spend 2 days, 24/7 almost, and sleep. And they get the exam done. So now what they did, they condensed the whole semester of study into those 3 to 4 days or a week period of time. And that is a law about it. It's actually possible. If you really put the right focus, you can shrink the time and get the almost equal amount of outcomes. That's the thing that need to be fixed. Because what I'm about to tell you right now, what they should do, they will never do anything, because even they cannot do anything if they just keep their present routine of the day. Because now they believe everything they're doing through their day is each of them is connecting them and bringing them more energy. And energy is bringing them more money. So the problem is, the root is on their day routine and it's coming from their belief system. So now I'm going to tell you that shake that belief system first. And as soon as you shake your belief system, you got to do this thing, because now you have time. Because if you have enough time, you will not be able to do what I'm about to tell you right now. You have 2 tracks right now. I'm going to give you a really good blueprint right now. You can use this one to turn the games of your money games in your favor. You look like those Brock Lesnar of the wrestling who just wins almost every matches. That's kind of heavyweight players.
What is that?
The first one, find out whatever you're trying to do, what is the biggest problem you're facing? You list 5 of them. And then talk to the other people like you who are trying to achieve the same type of goals. And here's the thing, these types of people don't want to talk to each other. Oh, they're my competitor. No, they're not your competitor. They could be a customer. And which I'm going to tell you right now. List your 5 problems. Talk to them who are also like you. And you ask them, these are the few things. 15 is a good sample. 30 is even better. But if you don't have 30, 12 will work pretty well. Ask them, do they have this problem? Number 2, what is the level of pains they're facing on each of the problem? And number 3, how fast they need this solution for this. Number 4, how much they're willing to pay for it. And if they do it, and from that one, you know from the list, which is the fastest possible way they will pay and the most amount of money they will pay. And then you already have your who's. Discuss with your who, your second brand, your friend, your partners, your mentors, your coaches. Design a high-level prototype. Don't build a solution, just build a prototype. And you bring them with an irresistible offer and saying this one, I'm going to bring the solution to you in X amount of days. I'm going to give you an 80% discount because, or 70% discount, or 50% discount because as the first customer, because you contributed on this thing, are you willing to make a down payment to get it started with me? And that's how you can get even payment up front before you building the solution and even delivering the solutions. Yes, here's the thing. Don't make a high margin on this one, because now here you think about, you just simply outsource your product development costs to your customer. The customer is paying for your product developments. And then you can charge more for other customers. That's the first way. The second way is about, I'm going to go to step number 1. Let's say you are a PT. You're helping other people to get fit. You can meet other peoples around you, your customers, your colleagues, your family members. Typically try to talk to the people who has money, because the people who doesn't have money, they will not be able to afford your time. So think about, they have at least some money. Now you have a conversation with them, spend time with them, and you try to identify what they're really struggling about. List 5. And you do the same thing what I just told you. Ask them around this question. How important is this problem for them to solve? What is the level of pain they're facing with this one? And how much they're willing to pay if there is a solution, and by when they're ideally looking for this getting solved in their life. And then you build a prototype. Don't do it alone. Get help from the coaches. Get help from the mentors. Build a prototype, not the solution. Then you bring it back to them and you tell them, hey, there's a prototype. I'm going to give you as an early bird offer of this product and services. I'm going to make it available with you in next 20 days or 15 days or a month, which is aligned how much time they want to have it for them. And I'm going to give you a 50% or 60% or 70% discount for it. And I want you to down payment this one so I can deliver you first. And you'll be the first customer receiving that thing compared to anyone. And here's the thing. Don't forget to mention this one, because they will be able to solve this problem first. So they will become the first person, their customer, can step forward compared to the other one, because others are basically they're competing with themselves. Their problem solved means they already moved to the next level and the others step behind. So then your solution become a massive competitive advantage for your customers, and they need it, they want it, they will use it over and over. And then you deliver a good job. This is very important. But now if you don't deliver what you're promised for, you're going to fail. And there is no other reason you should be failing on this one. Your money problem should be solved.
Now I'm really curious. How did you get your first client when you established VSHR Pro Academy?
I didn't have any sales meeting. No sales meeting. I don't have any sales call. I didn't do a lead generation. Nothing. I get even 12 customer. The first 12 customer, they're all B2B clients without any sales team. We have 0 sales team member.
Wow.
And I will tell you why and how this happened. It's this one. I was very frustrated with my own non-profit problem of VSHR. Back at the time, it was called Vietnam Social Health Revolution. Now it's become a VSHR Group. I was deeply passionate into it. Every moment I was thinking about how do I make it successful. And after 6 months, I was almost burnt out. The older version of back me didn't know what I know right now. And I'm glad that I have gone through it, so I know right now and I can share with you. I was almost burnt out because I was doing everything possible. I basically removed all the fun out of my life. I cut all the hobbies. I cut all the hanging outs. I cut off all the weekends, because I had a full-time job back then for RMIT, and I spent my all weekends and all evenings into VSHR, and it was not making result what I'm looking for. And the reason was an HR problems.
Human resources
problem. We had a high turnover issues. I implemented a lot of projects to even solve the skill problem, but as soon as they get skilled, they leave. They don't stay. Because it's a non-profit. Because here you don't reward people with money. Here you reward people with community. You reward people with the passion, the spiritual reward. My whole HR system had a problem. And back at the time, then I had to change my positions and I focused about the HR problems. And when I solved that HR problem, our VSHR grown to 350 people. We have been nationwide. We have been featured in different national TV like VTVs, and we had like 6 teams around Vietnam. And the mentor who really inspired me to actually build that change on my position. I gotta leave my director role of VSHR and become a chief HR officer type role and build an HR model, and which I was building on to applying on VSHR to solve the HR problems. He saw me in a VTV and he called me up and said, "Hey John, what do you do? Tell me the story." So I met him in the coffee shops and I told him this is how I solved the HR problems for my nonprofits, and now that's why it's been successful. And then he told me that, "John, what you have done, I could not solve this problem for many years in my own company. Even I have a full salary employees in my companies. And I want you to bring this one to my company." And that's how I got my first. And then he said this one, "I need this solution." Even I did not was thinking about any selling. I did not thinking about building any companies back that time. It just him told me, "I need this thing. And I want to pay you, serious." So when he said this one, "You want to pay me," so that means now I need to invoice him. How do I invoice him? I need to set up a company. Now it's all started from that moment. And then he go around and talk to other friends. They say, "I have my other friends too. They also need my solutions. I have my other relatives. They also have companies. They also need the solutions too." Bring it to them. And that's how I was telling you a few minutes ago is about, you got to build a product. And the product will sell itself. If you, as an entrepreneur, your number one mission is to make that product. And if you cannot make that product, means you are not successfully built it yet. So keep trying to build that product. You can build a prototype. You can bring some revenue out of it and keep you run on the game. But your ultimate vision should be own the product. I'm going to build that product, which will sell itself. And that is for VSHR Pro Academy. That's how we build the product. Will sell itself without any sales meeting. So the next 10, 12, 15 clients, we didn't have any sales meeting. We just walk in, we examine their problems, we show them the solutions, let's start deploying.
I really see that the who is really, really important.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so the last question. Is there anything that you want to say to the people who call them SOULpreneur or spiritual entrepreneurs on the journey to turn the energy to the money?
Don't be delusional. The delusions will never get you what you want to get to there. Don't take a lift, which will never take you to the floor you want to go in your life. I know there's a lot of people talked about it. Entrepreneurship is something, go on the top of the mountain and then jump out of the cliff. And on the way you fall down, you try to build a plan and then you take on. Terrible idea. Don't do that. Always have a fallback plan for you. Focus about building your advantage stack. You need to think about what is the advantage you already have. You already have some of the unprivileged advantage. Stack it up. Put it on in your favor. And focus about building an incredible product which will sell itself. And always put one foot in the ground, because that's why you need to stay practical, logical, and strategic too. And you know who can do that? Probably your second brand can help you to do that.
Okay.
Your second brand will pull you down in the ground. Tell you what is the wrong thing you have done so far. Because here's the thing. A lot of people don't want to listen to it. But this is the fact. If somebody can really tell you, honestly, you suck and what, they have done a great favor for you. Because now you really know what to focus about and need to solve it. Don't get offended into it. And when you can establish that kind of relationship with your second brand, your life is going to be a remarkable story.
Okay, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Last question. Actually, I have a lot of morning routine, like a ritual, meditation, writing journal. But I was shocked when one of my idols, Alex Hormozy, said something like, I just skip all the morning routine, all the morning ritual, and go straight to the work. What do you think about that?
When you've been I'll go back to my first thing I told you, the Chinese quote. Anything is too much is bad. Like when you have been too thinking about the morning routine will get you a winner, and you become like an extremely good student of your morning routine, and you're thinking about 2 hours doing your meditations, and then cold plunge, and then 1 hour you're running outside, you are already 10 o'clock. You have already finished all the best part of your energy. You're loading so much energy on your body But what are you doing after that one? You don't know. If you really want to do something, I think a 30-minute meditation will work. Find your answer, and probably your mind will be already exhausted after giving you a lot of 30 minutes of meditation into it. So me, I have done morning routines, and I have done with Alex Hormozy's style as well too. And I find out a balance is needed. It depends on what season of your life right now. Let's say example, if you're just recovering from a big loss in your life, maybe a little more morning routine will get you started because you cannot put yourself together. But the morning routine should not be forever. It should something make you disciplined. And as soon as you discipline yourself, you need to learn how to leverage the discipline. Because morning routine is giving you one thing, the discipline. And discipline is a tool. And now you need to use the tool to achieve what you need to do. Don't make a morning routine which is like almost eating half of your morning.
Okay.
Keep it. So ideally, I don't want it more than 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a good morning routine. I have a morning routine, but I do it in a way which does not impact me to get started as soon as I'm out of the bed. But I have a morning routine. But it doesn't let me get started off my work as soon as I wake up in the morning. I hit the desk, but I'm not hitting the desk.
Yeah.
But I'm doing meditations, but I'm not really doing meditation that way too. So that's the way I'm balancing, and I find out this is really working on me. Because my first priority when I wake up in the morning, I want to turn on my advantages instantly. Because I have a bunch of advantages which is run itself, and some of my advantages I need to turn it on. I want to turn it on because when my advantage is already working for me, I have the peace of not working for a while and get started with things like morning routines and other things.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all the question for today.
All the best.